Hey YouTube, welcome back to Tinker with Tools. Almost 6 months ago, I introduced the new 36-volt hammer drill from Metabo HPT to the channel, and at that time I promised that we would be doing a comparison against some of the top drills on the market. Haven't done it yet, but user @DurantPlays7111 reminded me that I hadn't done it, so today let's go ahead and get into that on Tinker with Tools. Now, Metabo HPT's multi-volt system has been out for roughly 6 years now, and this is now the second generation of 36-volt hammer drill that they have. When they first introduced those 36-volt tools, they definitely were a step up in performance, and now they were even more competitive with some of the top drills on the market. And when I first tested the first generation of 36-volt hammer drill over 2 years ago on this channel, it was one of those really surprising moments when you saw that the performance of it was definitely up there with the other top-tier hammer drills on the market at the time. And so it's time that we go ahead and revisit and see how the new one compares to some of the top drills on the market. So then this is the newest generation of 36-volt hammer drill. This is the DV36DC, which came out late last year. Like I said, I tested it back in December against the prior generation of 36-volt hammer drill, and it wasn't necessarily light years ahead of it, but it definitely was a step up, and there are a lot of refinements for it. Now, first and foremost, one of the drills that will always get mentioned anytime we talk about top hammer drills, this is going to be the Milwaukee M18 Fuel Gen 4 hammer drill. Milwaukee has continued to set kind of the bar for other tools to compete against time and time again, and this tool, in my opinion, is no different. When they came out with this tool, it took everything that was good and great about that third generation of hammer drill and really improved upon it and added some much needed safety tech, in my opinion. It is easily the most compact drill that we have here today, so if it can deliver the performance, I think that's definitely where we're going to be seeing some benefit from its smaller size if it can hang with the other two drills. Now, it may be hard to believe, but it's been over 3 years since Flex entered the market of professional quality tools. I'll be the first to admit when their tools first came out, I was a bit skeptical of them, but after trying them time and time again, one thing I will definitely always tell people about Flex tools is they definitely do bring some power, albeit with some size, when they have these tools. Now, this is the Flex Turbo Hammer Drill. This is one of the first tools that came out. It does have a lot of size and weight, but we'll go ahead and compare it to the others and see how that performs and if it makes up for it with some of those unique features. Now, the first place that we are going to compare these on is going to be on size and weight. I have always maintained that the Flex is a decently compact drill, but it is very heavy. Flex tools are always made very robust, and when you start putting a 24-volt battery on the bottom of it, it really just kind of exaggerates that a little bit. Now, in length, the Milwaukee is going to be the shortest at 6.9 inches. Then the Flex is just a tick over 7 inches, and not surprisingly, I guess, the Metabo HPT is actually 7 3/8. And so in terms of size, the Milwaukee still takes the cake, and it is definitely the most slender and the shortest when it comes to those dimensions. Now, as we go to weight, it's no surprise, in my opinion, that the Milwaukee is going to come in the lightest. In terms of weight, the Milwaukee was 3 pounds, 4.9 ounces bare tool. The shocker for me, though, when we weighed the other tools, because the Flex was actually at 3 pounds, 11.9 ounces. Metabo HPT was 3 pounds, 15.4 ounces. So when you start talking about it, it's more than a half a pound greater in weight than that of the Milwaukee and bare tool. The Milwaukee is a noticeably smaller tool, and I think that really shows when you're using it. It does kind of seem like the more compact option out here. All right, now talking about kind of ergonomics and fit and finish, that's one place where the new Metabo HPT I really think started to excel, and just some of the fit and finish of the tool improved significantly, but you really can't get around the fact that it is the heaviest drill here. That does definitely kind of show there. It just feels like a nicer tool to use than it's out there. I am not a huge fan of the Flex grip because of all the different textures that it has on it, and it is a heavy tool, like I've mentioned. It feels like a heavy tool, especially when you got one of the bigger batteries on the bottom of it, and that is something that stands out definitely when you use it. I have long been a fan of Milwaukee's ergonomics. I think the Metabo HPT might have a slightly more slender, nicer grip. But overall, the Milwaukee is very comfortable. I think its switches are definitely very nice. There's some switches that feel maybe a little bit lower quality on the Metabo HPT. That's one place where I don't think it really shines, I guess. All three of them are sufficient in my opinion in fit and finish. I just definitely think that some of the refinement of the Milwaukee over generations. The Flex is very stout. I don't really have any complaints about its fit and finish, but some of the ergonomics are just thrown off a little bit by some of the weight. One other place that I did is I wanted to measure kind of what the sound produced by these drills was, just to kind of go ahead and see if there was a substantial difference. One interesting note, the Flex, when it's in its turbo mode and speed 2, was the highest at 99. The other two kind of came right in having that, with the Metabo HPT being 98 and the Milwaukee being 97. But when I dropped the Flex out of that turbo mode, it drops down to 93 decibels, and it is noticeably more quiet than the other two drills. The Flex, when it's not using that turbo mode, was pretty decently quiet. That kind of surprised me there. All right, so as I mentioned, I have not seen the actual times, but what I will tell you is definitely in the wood fastening and in the concrete drilling, my impression was the Flex was noticeably quicker. Over in the wood drilling, the Flex felt pretty fast, but then when we went ahead and did the big 2 9/16 bit, the Flex, both when I did it in turbo and non-turbo mode, it would stall once, whereas both the Metabo HPT and the Milwaukee were able to go through it. The Milwaukee on that 2 9/16 bit really just kind of was able to do it with no trouble. In terms of performance testing, I will say this, there's going to be a difference, but definitely performance-wise, the Metabo HPT is right up there with those. I just don't think it's quite as quick as the Flex, and the Milwaukee is just always a really solid performer in these types of tests. All right, so now unique features. I just want to point out one, obviously, is going to be the turbo mode on the hammer drill. With that press of that button, you can kind of achieve almost like a 4-speed drill. If you're down in speed 1, instead of 550 RPMs, you're going to get 700 RPMs, so a nice little boost there. And when you're up in speed 2, it goes from 2,000 all the way up to 2,500. I guess the one thing that I don't like, and it did happen one time while doing the testing today, is when pushed several times in a row in the turbo mode, sometimes it decides that it's done with that and it kicks out of it. Now, I was able to turn it back on tonight, but I have heard rumors of under repeated drilling eventually not being able to access the turbo mode at all. It's a nice little feature for the occasional thing, but if it's not going to be available all the time when I actually need it, I would almost prefer to have a 4-speed transmission or a 3-speed transmission where I'm going to actually have dedicated gears versus something that may or may not work all the time if I really push it. All right, now in terms of safety tech, each one of the drills has some form of anti-kickback. With the Metabo HPT, they call it RFC, anti-kickback on the Flex, and then auto stop on the Milwaukee. The Milwaukee is the only one that you can defeat. With the Metabo HPT and the Flex, at least that I know of, there is no way to turn them off. I won't necessarily say they get in the way like you do see with some drills or with early implementations of auto stop. Each of the tools does come with an auxiliary handle. On the prior generation of Milwaukee fuel hammer drill, they had a really solid drill, and when they went to this Gen 4, they just decided to do something that honestly made it substantially worse and just not as nice to put on. There was a little pin that previously connected the two little flappy things here. The Flex currently has a pin that kind of keeps the two pieces together, and it is infinitely nicer to put on. Once the Milwaukee handle is on, I have absolutely no issues with it. Now, the Metabo HPT handle on the last one was weird. It just kind of screwed into this hump on the top. They definitely made the handle more robust and I think better going to this new generation. It is a good length without being too long. It is definitely a stout handle, and it is the best handle here by far. That was a really nice improvement from the prior generation. All right, so now let's talk warranty. Now with Milwaukee, I'll hit this one first. It's a 5-year warranty on the tool, 3 years on the battery. Milwaukee is the one warranty of all these brands here that I've actually used. It's not exactly the fastest thing. You do have to ship it in, at least where I'm located. But each time I've had a decent experience with the tool coming back and either just replacing the tool and getting a brand new one. That happened with my Gen 3 hammer drill, and then I did get one fixed as well. I've been pleased with Milwaukee's warranty, but it is just kind of a standard 5-year warranty, and you do have to buy it from an authorized retailer to get that. You can get some cheaper prices on Amazon, but Amazon is not an authorized reseller on that. Just be cautious with that. Now, when it comes to Metabo HPT, it is a limited lifetime warranty, but there's a few caveats to that. Lifetime is determined as long as there are serviceable parts still in production for the tool, they will cover it. But it is not something where if the tool breaks, no matter what, they're going to replace it for you. It really is just kind of a wear and tear or manufacturer defect type coverage. Now, Flex, when they initially rolled out the tools, one of the moves they made was to offer a founder's edition of the warranty, where if you registered it within 30 days, you got a lifetime warranty on the tool. Now, with that lifetime warranty, that is something that they've renewed every year so far, to the point where you are getting lifetime warranty if you purchase this today. Now, if you don't register the tool within 30 days, it does just become a standard 3-year warranty. So keep that in mind. Register your tool, save your proof of purchase, all that stuff. They will replace batteries, but there is a limit of 3 replaced batteries. I have not been able to find out if it's 3 per battery or just 3 batteries in general on your account that they will replace. All right, so when it comes to batteries and chargers, that's just one thing I want to mention. The Metabo HPT has 2 battery options on their multi-volt platform, and it's basically the 2.5 amp hour 36 volt battery or this slightly larger 4 amp hour 36 volt battery. Those are the only 2 batteries that work on the multi-volt platform. Since I've gotten Metabo HPT batteries, they do have a newer version of the 2 and 5 amp hour multi-volt that has some impact resistance or corrosion resistance or something. I haven't tested those out. My other batteries have worked great for a number of years, and I've been happy with them. Now, if you're not aware, Metabo HPT in other parts of the world is known as Hikoki. And Hikoki has released some Bluetooth-style batteries with their newest impact drivers that allow the tools to have different modes and certain things like that. So there are some newer batteries out there, but so far, none of those have been released in the US. There just isn't as much going on with batteries and chargers on Metabo HPT. When it comes to these 2 brands, though, I really think that they are 2 of the leaders in battery tech, and they have a lot of different options with a lot of different power levels on their battery. When it comes to Flex batteries, the batteries are heavy, but they really do have some pretty modern battery technology technologies. And one of the things I want to commend them on, they're switching almost every single one of their premium kits. You can get them with a stacked lithium battery, and with it comes a really quick 280 watt charger. Milwaukee will definitely sell you nice premium batteries, but in terms of kits, you're still just getting two 5 amp hour batteries with this kit and a bone stock Milwaukee charger. But if you want their rapid chargers or their supercharger, you are definitely going to pay for them to get the more premium option. That's just something to keep in mind there. All right, so final conclusions. Does this drill feel like a premium or a professional drill? And that's where I would answer that yes, it does. It is a very nice premium drill. Now, do I think it is going to be the fastest drill here tonight without having seen the performance times? No. There is no doubt in my mind that this tool did not finish first, but I don't think it embarrassed itself by any means. I think it definitely holds up. And I think when you start getting out into their other tools, that's where you can get some good values on that brand. It definitely sits right up there at the top. It's just not going to be the top. Now, when it comes down to the Flex and the Milwaukee, the Flex definitely is going to take the cake on just blazing performance, in my opinion. I think it's going to post to the fastest times here tonight. But in terms of weight and ergonomics for me, that's where I just knock it down a little bit of a notch. So I do respect and appreciate the performance that it gives. And I think now we're to the point where we've got 3 years with these tools. I think you're starting to see a track record of whether they've been good. And for me, the tools have been pretty good. I have not had an issue with the Flex tool. Now, Milwaukee for me, with its addition of being a little lighter weight, I do think that it's the drill that I would pick out of these three. But I don't think you can really pick a bad drill out of these 3 drills. I think that is the takeaway that I would give anyone here tonight, is that all 3 of these drills performed incredibly well. Now, a few notes in the performance testing. One issue is this chuck has given me a couple of issues. This one seems to get into a little bit of a weird, I've had issues with it. It's probably going to get sent in for service, or at least I'm going to attempt to. It's definitely not performing up to the standard of my old 36 volt or even the 18 volt Metabo HPT newest generation that I have. It did drop 2 bits during the testing. I don't think that's normal for all the tools. I might just have a little bit of a lemon when it comes to that chuck, so we'll see if we can't get it serviced. Now, if you have any questions about Metabo HPT, about the Milwaukee or the Flex, please go ahead and leave those in the comments down below. If you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Make sure to turn on notifications so you get notified when I put out new content. But as always, I appreciate all the support. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you on Tinker with Tools.